So Pretty Little Liars has returned for its second season. Pretty Little Liars Original Sin, which this season is Pretty Little Liars Summer School. So we got a new subtitle here. But is it Pretty Little Liars Original Sin Summer School? Because it's still under the banner of Original Sin when you look it up on IMDb. And this is just season 2, not a new season. Doesn't matter at all. I just found that funny. Anyway, so we got our first episode here entitled SpookySpaghetti.com.
Yeah.
Which Mouse has become very obsessive with. Now, I do want to say, number one, I'm happy that they got this season out within like a year. Because a lot of shows just aren't doing that.
Yeah.
Especially with the writer's strike. I feel like a lot of shows have been pushed and are being broken up. Like Cobra Kai's final season is being broken into 3 parts. And it's like, oh, come on. And so to actually feel like this one's going to get out in a year and all the episodes are going to air, it's nice because there's so many other shows that we're watching where they either went on hiatus or it's been like years since their last season. So I'll give them that. At least they're getting this season out pretty quick. And probably for best here because much like Stranger Things, their cast is already older.
Yeah.
And man, it has been a year since we watched this. And this isn't a show I'm in love with, so I didn't commit a ton of memory. That being said, though, when we were discussing this right before we put it on, I remembered a lot more than I thought I would. When we just started talking, I was like, oh yeah, doesn't she this and that and this and that? And it was all just accurate. So I guess I have remembered more. But just an FYI, we're not Pretty Little Liar Original Sin experts or anything. We're just going off memory here. We did not do a rewatch, nor would we have. But yeah, getting into our first moments here. We're on like Christmas night. This is very shortly after the events of the end of season 1.
Yeah.
And they find out and discover that Chip has died, that the sheriff, Kelly's father, died in the hospital. So we get to see them find out that information. And then a week later, on the anniversary of Angela's death, the killer is apprehended. And then we get confirmation that later in here that he gets the death penalty. He's getting the death penalty. Now, in the previous season, the mom is still alive and on the loose. They even show this in the recap.
Yeah.
Are we just kind of expecting it that this new killer is the mom? I mean, she says to Mouse, like, you know who this is. Like, is there going to be a mystery here that it's going to be revealed not to be her? It's going to be like an apprentice of her.
Well, it
right?
is the mom. I mean, that is what the red woman or whatever. I don't know that they have. I don't know the name.
We haven't gotten confirmation yet.
No, that's what the speculation online is that this is the parent, the mom of and Angela, Angela and Archie.
I mean, obvious. I mean, that would be the speculation from us as well. But is that what we're going with?
But if it's actually who that is, I don't know.
I mean, your original immediate out the gate guess, just because, it's a new character to us, is the therapist.
Yeah.
Dr. Anne Sullivan, which I looked up, and this is a character from the Pretty Little Liars TV show, the other one that, predated this one, the one that this one is a spin-off of or whatever.
Yeah.
So set in the same universe. Annabeth Gish, I think is how you say her name, plays her as same actress, same character. So I told Kaylee that, and I just happen to believe that bringing a character over from like a non-horror show into your new universe and making her the killer out of nowhere when maybe her character had nothing, like no signs of that in the previous show, seems like it would be weird. But any Pretty Little Liars fans out there does Anne Sullivan present themselves as a potential suspect that we could be looking at as like a killer in this season? I highly doubt it. It just seems too odd.
Yeah.
But is that a possibility? I mean, for anyone who watched that show, is Dr. Anne Sullivan sus?
Yeah, is
she high key sus
or low key
sus?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to go with kind of like what we had last season, right? We find out that A is the brother of Angela, and then the principal, is also in on this as well. And and then the mother as well. She's ends up being a part of this as well, and now she's out there, and we can only assume she's the killer, but is she the actual killer that's doing the killings? Or does she even have maybe like boots on the ground infiltrating while she's actually out doing the killing? So the infiltrator doesn't have to be doing the killing. They can just be doing like reconnaissance, right? They can just be getting in there gathering intel on the liars, right? As to where, typically the plant would also be the killer as well and have the nefarious motives of murder. But it doesn't also have to be the killer. Yeah. Somebody can be in cahoots without actually being the killer. So the killer could still be the mom.
Yeah.
Whilst also having someone who's betraying them from within who's not actually doing killings.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I gotta say that we watched the first 2 episodes of this, and I definitely didn't enjoy it as much as I remembered enjoying the first season. Like, I know we weren't happy with the ending. I think that we had some, like, criticism about the end of the season, but I remember us, like, pretty much enjoying, like, a lot of the drama that was going on, and so far, I don't know. I felt very disconnected from the first 2 episodes, like from everything happening. I don't know if that's just like the time away from the season, so that I'm just kind of disconnected from the characters in general, or what. But
you also have a headache.
I do also have a headache.
A really bad headache.
I do also have a headache. So I don't know, but I don't know who as far as like speculating with the killer, I think that I just don't know. I don't have a lot of brain power, I guess, to speculate right now, but...
So, I mean, we have the addition of, like, these 2 new red herrings, right? You've got Noah's ex-prison cellmate, who she had a romantic relationship with.
Yeah.
Right? She's now come around, and she's got a prior, right? She's got a record. So that makes her sus. And then you've also got the addition of I should say 3, because their therapist.
Yes, is also a new major character, and then the third person would be the new employee at the movie theater.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Tabby's little new boyfriend. And of course, I have to point out, as I told Kaylee, I know it's like dramatized, like it's supposed to be kind of like a satirization of movie culture, or like movie buffs or whatever, and of course movie language and movie talk isn't real life, and that's true of everything. But as a film fanatic, hearing people talk about films in shows that like very obviously scripted rebuttals, always drives me nuts. And it's true in all these movies. I mean, Randy does it in the Scream movies. They're always just these like really concise monologues that feel like they were written in advance, and the way they deliver them with just such surety, it's so eye-rolly to me. It's like, nobody fucking talks like that. But at the same time, I know that's how all films are. It's just because it's really close to my heart, actual like film fanaticism, and talking to film people and being someone who has that kind of knowledge, and listening to them kind of come back with the actuallys and they have this really detailed out rebuttal is always just so like, oh, fucking shut up.
It definitely likes it. I remember, so for the first season, I liked Tabitha's references. I liked that she was like the film geek and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think Randy's great. Like, I find that character very endearing and charming. But I know what you're talking about, because it just feels like, even though the references that they're making are things that film lovers get and understand, the way they're talking is like what it sounds like to non-film lovers, like how they talk to each other.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know, Tabitha just like was rubbing me the wrong way, and that really sucks too, because like for the first 2 episodes, like she's having like this whole drama with Chip's mom, and like kind of having her, you know, expression of anger and pain, and like her way of dealing with the fact that she was raped, and like outing her abuser, but also like not, like, you know, she's making a fictional piece of like a film, and she's not using his name, but anyway, everybody knows that it's him. So
that's not true, because remember when they watched the movie, she literally calls him Chip in the movie.
I thought she said Chet.
Oh, maybe it is.
Yeah, it's really close.
I heard it as Chip.
Yeah, I don't think she uses his name, but maybe.
I heard it as Chip.
I heard it differently.
It's too damn close. If I heard it as Chip, then it's too close.
My point with that is just that, so, you know, she's really angry about it, and I think it's like rightfully so. She should be angry about it. But I don't know, for some reason, like the way her character is written, I'm like not empathizing with her, and I feel like she, of all the characters, is maybe maybe her and Mouse more just for personality, but I feel like Tabitha's the one that I would like be relating to the most.
Yeah.
And I'm just having a hard time with it. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm off, but because I don't think that the writing is like drastically different than the last season at all. I don't know what it is, but I was also having a really hard time. Like, this is more just like stupid criticism, because we talked about it briefly at the end of our watching, just like how they're very fake characters in this like fake teenage like drama, so that was also making it hard for me to relate, which is really weird, because I think when we watched the first season, I went into it very much like, this is just like popcorn, like basically like reality television, like there's no, like, it didn't feel like there was and I was okay with that, but for some reason I'm like struggling with it.
This feels like a complete, like, direct continuation of the first season for me.
It does.
I don't see, like, if you watch the first season and you were into that, I don't really understand why this would be any different. This feels it's exactly the same to me.
It's not a problem with the show itself. It's more like where I'm at as the viewer. I'm like having the disconnect.
You've grown since the last season.
But I'm going to keep watching it. I mean, like, I do like the concepts.
I hope so, because I ain't doing these videos alone.
No, of course I'll keep watching it. I'll keep watching it for sure. And I think that, like, as the season goes on, like, I think as I get used to it again, because, like, we just haven't been watching this type of, like, media at all.
No, we don't watch anything like this.
So this is like a rare kind of
departure.
Yeah, for us. But once I get back into the like swing of things, I think I'll start like enjoying it more. But yeah.
The only thing that we watched that's like this was the I Know What You Did Last Summer TV show, which felt fairly similar.
But we also watched that around the same time.
Yep.
So it's been like over a year.
And this also feels like the Scream television series, which you haven't watched yet, but you know, it's that like older than teens. The fact that they're supposed to be sophomores in this is
shocking.
Crazy. I forgot that. I thought they were like seniors or something. They're too old to be seniors, but sophomores is crazy.
You know,
like, because the girl who plays Farron at this point is like 28 years old. Like, we're getting near 30, and she's playing a 16-year-old. That's nuts.
Another thing too, like, I think that there's definitely like a timelessness to like high school drama that anybody can kind of like relate to some extent. Like we've all been in high school and we've had like similar-ish experiences.
Not them homeschooled kids.
But yeah, unless you've been homeschooled or you went to like a really weird, I was gonna say like a really weird private school,
Yeah.
but you know, like there's obviously different. But like public school kids, like
yeah, public school.
you've had like a lot of the same experiences. But and like I grew up watching like Buffy, so like I think about Buffy and I'm like, those were legitimately like 30-year-olds playing, you know, teenagers, but I connected with them a lot more, and I think it's because when I was watching it, I was maybe a little bit younger, and so I was like, that's what I'm gonna be like when I'm older. And now that I'm an adult and I'm watching like kids, quote unquote, I'm like, there's just no way. Like there's no way people are like this when they're sophomores. You know, you're not put together with your sense of fashion and like, I don't know. And that's not like a hard, like, I'm not trying to be mean or like super critical. It's more just an observation. And I also was gonna say too that like, I think that I've gotten to the point now where I'm like an old lady in my head, because it is hard to relate to like a younger generation in some ways. Like some of the things I'm just like, I don't know. I don't like it. But it's not that different from when I was a kid, because I'm not really that old. Yeah. So it's weird. It's a really weird thing.
Well, you're not much older than the girls in this show.
I know.
So, but let's get to the actual episode, Kaylee. What do you think?
Yeah.
Let's discuss the actual events within it and stop critiquing it. All right. I think once again, we saw this in previous episodes, but I have to point out again that we have a Nightmare on Elm Street 2 poster. So cool. Love this poster. Love that it's on our wall. There's also a Nightmare on Elm Street 1 poster on our wall, but a Freddy's Revenge poster, especially like an OG one. Very cool. Also has a Howling poster. There's a bunch of, there's a ton of posters in these first two episodes, from The Thing to, it just goes on and on. I was seeing at the movie theater and Tabby's room and all that. There's just a lot of fun little posters to look at. Now, this show is not really known for kills being all that violent or graphic or anything, which is, of course, a huge downside for it for me. But Mouse's like wannabe dad, which we killed off all of like the main secondary characters, but like the more focused ones of last season. We just kind of killed them off right in the beginning, right?
Yeah, like, I didn't like that.
We get rid of the dance instructor. We get rid of Mouse's dad. Yeah. We get rid of like pretend dad. We get, I actually did like that. I thought that was kind of cool that we were just like axing people. It would have been cool to have them have big moments, right? Where they don't just get killed in 1 second.
Yeah.
As to where like, but that's not that's not how they're trying to do this. But I don't know, because A kills them, and this is right before he gets captured and goes to get put on death row. Right? It's not the other one. It's not after that, right? It's before that. It's during that week.
Yeah.
They get those, like, they're calling.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they just kind of get rid of them because they're just done with that storyline. They're just like, we're moving on from that. So we're getting rid of these characters. But the throat slit on like Mouse's dad or whatever, pretend dad guy, was actually really gnarly. Like the open wound, like you could see through into the throat. Pretty damn good. I'm not usually a big slit throat fan, mostly because it always just looks like blood or like a very small little gash here where it kind of like slightly opens. No, this was like a full on opened neck slash, and I was like, that looked good, which is rare. And super big highlight of this season so far, I love the look of the killer. I think that looks pretty rad. I am a big fan of the overall appearance of our new villain, the villain look.
Yeah.
You're not a fan of it?
No, I mean, I think it looks good.
You're just very ho-hum on this.
I am. I mean, you were like, wow, it's such an upgrade from the first season, but...
The killer look?
Yeah. I for me, I don't find that it's that much of an upgrade. Like, it looks fine. It looks cool, but they're both, like, wrapped... Like, they both are... basically wearing a mask. The only difference is we can see one eye and it's like covered in blood. So, but
Both are wearing a mask. I mean, that's like saying Michael and Jason's masks are no different because they're both
both of
wearing
their
a
masks
mask.
look similar to me because like they're both kind of like the first one is stitched and this one is like I don't know wrapped. I guess it's just not like it's not
Those are
drastically
like two different things. That's like the Mummy versus Leatherface. Those are like two different looks. I don't know. This looks totally different to me. I thought that the look of the killer is cool. That's all right. You can be.
It looks fine.
Be
I'm not like saying it looks.
Losing my voice.
I'm not saying it looks horrible or anything. It looks fine. Yeah, it's different.
That's fine. That's fine. I do like that they're taking self-defense classes. You absolutely should after something like this. You should before this. Everyone, get out there. Learn how to protect yourself. And yeah, Tabby making her film and it getting rejected and her mom wanting to pull it down and like, everyone attacking her online. That is complicated. That is tough. That is like something where, because he's dead, nobody wants to speak ill of the dead and because he's young and, I don't know.
He's also a victim of the killer as well.
I was pointing out to Kaylee, I personally don't care. I just know how these shows get reacted to. And we just had like what would be considered woke scene after woke scene after woke scene. It was like 4 in a row where I was like, dude, this would be such a triggering show for like the anti-woke folks, which is
I mean, those people.
That's funny. I don't really give a shit.
100% not watching this show just because of like it's.
If they were,
it's about
they're not
teen
anymore.
Girls, like there's no way.
If they were, they ain't anymore. I'll tell you that. Like if some dude has gotten talked into watching this show by his girlfriend, and he's like he's like an anti-woke dude. Oh my god, it was funny because I was saying like. It went from, like, a trans person hooking up to, like, a gay couple adopting a kid to, like, an interracial couple. I forget something happened there that I was like, something. And then the next scene is, like, a girl being so much stronger than the men by beating him in pull-ups. It was just really funny. It's just like one after the other, after the other, after the other. And I was like, damn, they're really laying into it on this one. They know what their audience is. They know their lane, and they're just going with it. It did get a little eye-rolly to me, to be honest. Just even me, who I don't give a fuck. I'm just like, okay. Like, I get it. This is a progressive show.
I honestly didn't care about any of that.
I know.
So
you were too busy hating the show to even notice.
No, I don't know. That was all fine. And it all like I don't know, it's fine.
It wasn't even because it was an interracial couple, because that wasn't even it. I just remember like I threw that in as a part of it, which Jesus Christ, if we still live in times where people are like upset over interracial couples, holy fuck, dude. Get out of your time machine. Yeah. What in the fuck, dude? I mean, any of this stuff is who cares, but interracial, Jesus, like we've been done with that for like 70 years, haven't we? My good God. What was another one? I like that they're showing the Town That Dreaded Sundown, both the original and the like pseudo reboot. This like meta sequel where it's set in a world where the Town That Dreaded Sundown exists as a film. But that film is based on real events, and so the killer comes back because they watch that film every year in the town, and the killer like kills because that film is playing, and like the killer was never caught in reality. It's cool. Yeah. It's very cool. It's a very cool meta sequel, and this show can be fairly meta at times, much like a Scream.
Yeah.
So it was a cool reference because I feel like that, I think it's from 2014 if memory serves. That's a really cool meta sequel that I just feel like never gets attention. And I think it's really overlooked and pretty freaking graphic. And one thing I did like is Imogen's kid being up for adoption, and she's not able to like leave it alone, and then she's like told to fuck off.
Yeah.
She's not allowed to come back. But also, in addition to that, I really liked the added layer there of her mental distress on the fact that there could potentially be a killer out there who wants to harm her through her loved ones.
Yeah.
And that her kid is not in her protection.
Yeah.
That a killer could come for her child, and it's like the kid is just with some two random people who she doesn't know, and it's like they don't know what they're, up against.
Yeah.
And I need to protect this kid. And yeah, I mean, I like that. We don't deal with it that much, but we deal with it enough. And I know that we're dealing with her mental state and her hallucinations, and she's trying new drugs, and she's really struggling with everything that happened to her. Who the hell wouldn't? I mean, with everything she had going on, things aren't great. She still has those Amityville windows up above her bed, which I had to point out as well. But I thought the added drama from the baby being able to be attacked was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a difficult situation for her to be in.
Yeah. And Tabby ends up taking the movie down, even though she says she's not going to because of all the comments.
Yeah.
But then they end up showing it later and putting it up on the marquee in town for everyone to see, even though it's just the Fab Five that are going to watch it together. So I know that's just like Christian flirting.
Yeah, but still, the mom totally is going to get wind of that.
Shouldn't she be like, no, you can't have this up here? Because
I won't be surprised.
I had to pull this movie down.
There's going to be some... Oh, yeah, of course. But she's proud of her movie, and she didn't really want to pull it down. But there's definitely going to be some, backlash from that.
We'll see. They do a Candyman-esque thing here called Bloody Rose Waters, which is the name of our killer here, Rose Waters. And it's like Bloody Rose, right?
Yeah.
And they're all getting left roses. Now, some of them think that they're from, love
interest
or
whatever.
So Noah thinks hers is from her ex from prison. And Tabby thinks hers is from Christian.
Yes.
It's Christian, right? That's his name.
Yes.
I think that's what his name tag said.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And then we haven't even talked about this at all. But Kelly has joined a full-on cult.
Oh, yeah.
Now, me personally, I think all organized religions are cults, so this is no fucking different for me. Nothing thus far that they've done in this church that they've joined, because it's funny to me that the characters give each other side looks of oh my god, they joined that church.
Yeah.
But everything they've said so far, everything they've done so far is 1000% all just normal, regular church shit that I've seen 1,000 different times. And they're like, oh, that one's crazy. How the fuck is this one crazy?
I'm sure there's going to be
There's got to be something more.
Yeah.
Because their play is interesting, because they're like, who's going to play the, this character that's life is being thrown away, and this character, and then I'm the Virgin Mary, right? But they have two promiscuous kids and two drug addicts.
The play is to be to show the town the error of their ways and lead them to God.
But how is this any different than any other church?
So far, it doesn't feel any different. It's just in an old church. It's in an old wooden building. But I'm sure there's going to be something kind of crazy that happens. But I don't know. Maybe not. It feels like it because Kelly's there. She got her boyfriend to join. Now,
the one chick dies.
Farrah's boyfriend is going to join as well because he didn't go off to the camp that they were going to go to. And he told her in the car oh well, I might check out, Kelly told me that they need more people at this play, so I might check that out. So he's going to join too. So I think more people are going to be joining, and then they're going to start acting differently.
Yeah. You think it's possible that she's going to start to suspect that he's into a dude in there? Because there's
Maybe.
they're kind of pushing back on his sexuality.
Yeah.
And you know, everyone calling him gay.
Yeah.
Because he acts very flamboyant, and you know, he obviously can be totally straight, and I don't give two shits. But I wonder if they're going to play around with that this season at all. Especially since now Noah is, I guess, bi, which I don't think we knew previously.
No, I don't think so.
So there's a little bit of a love triangle going on here. Her boyfriend's mom is really laying into the guilt trip of like her living there and like what a burden it is, and you know, she caught them in bed together but didn't say anything till the next day. And you know, I mean, that's to be expected from 15, 16-year-olds when you're sleeping under their roof. It's like, you guys aren't allowed to fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, they're fucking.
Yeah.
And oh man, I mean, I think Tabby going and Mark and Chip's grave rapist.
I know, that was pretty intense.
That was like,
that was not, I wasn't expecting that.
I get it.
Oh, I do too. I don't really blame her for it. It's just, I mean, it's an action that will have repercussions, of course.
Maybe.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe it's Chip's mom is the killer.
Maybe. Or maybe Kelly's mom. Could see Kelly's mom being the killer because she's being, like, really weird.
Sure.
And she's all, like, super
these are all, like,
ultra religious now.
Yeah. These are all definitely prime suspects.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that's most of them that we've mentioned, for sure. So we'll have to whittle that down. A little Cruel Summer. This is the name of the second episode, and also the song they play in a nod to Karate Kid. I hate how the alt kids are always used as like the burnouts and the losers and the criminals in class. It's like, oh Jesus Christ, can we get away from that stereotype? With my gang, we were not like losers. In fact, most of the like alternative kids in my school were some of the smartest kids in school. They just had shitty childhoods, which made them turn to different music and dress in different ways. But a lot of them were like close to valedictorians. So it's just so funny to me. They're always labeled. It's like the John Bender from Breakfast Club is always going to be a thing. And it's like, really, these perfect, prissy little, you know, preppy girls are like, they're so good and they're so right. And then the guys who like, you know, wear some black clothes or something. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do I have to be in here with these criminals?
Yeah.
And the way that they're acting, I'm like, oh my God, this is so stupid.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I mean, they all got new numbers, but we see and hear each one of them like gives out their number to like multiple people.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps asking. Not one of them. They're all like kind of hesitant for a second, but then they're like, no, it's okay. Here.
Yeah.
And they give them out.
It's because he's been convicted and he's on death row. So they're like, all right, I'm safe.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's obviously not the case because all of them get a call from an unknown number. So
we get two deaths in the first episode. It's the kids from the class or from the summer school.
Yeah.
And then the third death is this girl who was in the play that was vying for Kelly's boyfriend. She's not connected to them through school, so the whole summer school subtitle isn't applicable there. I thought it was just going to be like kids in class with them, but it has branched out into Kelly's sphere because that's where I guess that's her summer school.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess it does match, right? Yeah. Because this is like her Sunday summer school or summer Sunday school.
Summer Sunday school, yeah.
Okay. I guess that makes sense
works.
then. Okay. Yeah. And then also the whole like everyone having an answer for what's your favorite summer movie. Just like, I know it's a show. I know nobody wants to sit around and watch somebody go, shit, let me think about this. And, let me think. And like IMDb it and stuff. But the fact that they just all answer so fast. But hey, Midsommar, director's cut. Tabby's pulling out the legit title there. And then, of course, they had to give a shout out to Troll 2.
Yes.
Even quoting the famous line that everyone knows from that. So that was kind of cool.
It was cute.
Imogen gets a job as Lee Abel for like a minute
Yeah,
and then
she's-
decides, like, I'm going to go get a job at an ice cream shop. So that whole, like, secret identity on the outskirts of town thing, that
It's
lasted
just
not even an
her,
episode.
like, having mental problems and struggling with mental illness.
I'd be pissed if I was that chick that hired her.
Sure.
I'd be like, really?
Yeah.
She's been here like 2 seconds, and you lied to me about your name.
Yeah.
You're not getting any money. And then, Kelly's boyfriend, still trying to push her to have sex when she's obviously went through something. Her dad died. Her sister died. Her mom is freaking nuts. She's been put into, this cult. And she's very forward about, like, I'm not doing anything anymore. And he keeps pushing, like, my blue balls have blue balls and I'm fucking gonna screw someone else. Get lost.
Yeah.
Like, I don't support the cult, and if she wants to have sex, she absolutely should if she wants to. That's her right. And she should also not if she doesn't want to. But he should just look at that and go, okay, number one, I should be there for her. Number two, if this ain't working for you, move the fuck on. Stop trying to get her to screw you when she doesn't want to do that, and then making her feel bad about it. So this guy's a little lame ass anyway.
It's super lame.
Right? Like, I don't like Kelly all that much anyway, but it's super fucking lame what he's doing.
Yes.
Like, nobody cares about your fucking blue balls. Like, go get laid then. No one's keeping you with her. Right? It seems like you can go get laid by someone else.
Stupid teenage boy.
Well, it's like
that
a
kind
tactic.
of only cares about one thing.
Sympathy fucks. Like,
well, yeah, it's still coercion.
Oh, I gotta get off, and
yeah, it's really
you're
gross.
not letting me because you're holding it from me.
Yeah,
it's like, bro, leave. You don't have to be with her. Plenty of other girls will have sex with you.
Yeah.
So, and wasn't this the one that was screwing her sister before? Or is this a different? Was that a different person?
I don't remember.
I thought that was the guy that was screwing her sister before, and then he jumped over to her.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
So he doesn't really have any, like, he doesn't care. He just wants somebody to sleep with.
Dig her up. That's dark.
That is dark.
Mouse answers the call, and the caller says, "You know who I am." So, as I said, I think that's supposed to imply that is who we think it is, but I do think someone else is in on this. Now we're just kind of adding to characters in order to die. I would like to see one of our main 5 die.
Sure, that's always like wanted in shows like this.
1 or 2. Kelly is an obvious go-to. Sure. I mean, to get, she's not like a main character anyway. She kind of is, but
she's not one of the like 5
on the outskirts of the main characters. Yeah. And then, Imogen would be great, but she's like the main character. But so that's why I would be like, absolutely. I feel like you could absolutely kill off Farron and not lose a ton. I don't find her character to be all that interesting currently. There's some things going on. But I would say just out of all, I don't know, Mouse too in a way. They're both their stories right now are kind of whatever to me. But I don't know. Kill someone. I mean, it's this kind of show.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you don't ever kill any main characters, it doesn't add any stakes to the show. So I was hoping one of the main girls was going to die in the first episode. Or at least the second episode. To give us, like, oh shit, they mean business.
Yeah, I think if anybody major dies, it'll be at the end.
And then make, like, halfway through the season, kill off another one.
Yeah, I don't.
And then it really would be like, oh shit.
Sure, yeah, that would be exciting. But I don't think that's going to happen ever.
No, I think all 5 of them are going to survive this season.
Probably, yeah.
And get into junior year.
Yeah.
Right?
Season 3.
Because it's literally like the junior year of the show.
Right.
And they'd be entering their junior year.
That's probably the plan. 4 years.
4
seasons.
That makes sense. Even though they weren't freshmen in the first season. But yeah, 4 years of high school, 4 seasons, 4 years.
Yeah, maybe.
That makes sense. Yeah. All right. Well, that's that. Pretty Little Liars. I don't know who the hell is going to watch this. I don't know if we have anybody who's even going to follow us. I don't even remember what numbers were like on our last videos.
Yeah.
So this might be for no one. I doubt almost anyone's still around at this point. But that's it. We'll see you next week. We did do 2 episodes here.
Yes.
So it ran a little longer than it should have. But that's because we're doing 2 episodes at once. Yeah, we'll see you next week. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.